Krisis bekalan global yang berlarutan memberi kesan kepada pelabuhan, syarikat perkapalan dan sektor pembuatan yang akhirnya dirasai oleh rakyat melalui peningkatan pelbagai kos.
Harga kawalan RON 15 tidak boleh dikekalkan selamanya tanpa menjejaskan kewangan negara, terutama ketika pasaran global semakin tidak menentu.
Orang asli communities living deep in the interiors of the East Coast say soaring fuel prices are pushing them to the brink because many rely on generators to power their homes.
Perbelanjaan subsidi diesel bagi Sabah dan Sarawak mencecah 1.4 bilion ringgit dalam tempoh 4 bulan pertama tahun ini susulan kenaikan harga minyak dunia akibat krisis bekalan global. Harga minyak global mencatat penurunan ketara pada Isnin selepas Amerika Syarikat dan Iran mencapai kata sepakat dalam satu perjanjian untuk menamatkan konflik serta membuka semula laluan perkapalan di Selat Hormuz pada Jumaat.
Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim tidak setuju dengan cadangan setengah pihak berhubung langkah menaikkan harga minyak bagi mendepani krisis bekalan global akibat perang di Asia Barat.
Good day everyone, and thank you for watching our presentation. Today we will be discussing an issue that affects almost every Malaysian regarding of age, occupation or income level. The topic of our presentation is the impact of rising fuel prices on the cost of living crisis in Malaysia. Fuels are an essential resource in our daily lives, whether we are travelling to work, attending classes, transporting goods or operating businesses. Fuel plays a crucial role in keeping our economy moving. Many people may think that fuel prices only affect vehicle owners. However, the reality is much broader than that. Fuel prices increase transportational costs, manufacturing expenses, logistics service, and even the prices of products sold in shops and supermarkets. As a result, when fuel prices increase, consumers often experience the higher living expenses and a greater financial pressure. In recent years, concerns regarding the rising cost of living have become increasingly common among Malaysians. Therefore, our aim to examine how fuel prices increase contributes to the issue, how they affect daily lives, and what solution may reduce the burden on the public. To begin our discussion, let us first examine the problem and understand why rising fuel prices have become a major concern. One of the biggest challenges faced by Malaysians today is the increasing cost of living. Many households are finding it more difficult to manage their expenses due to the rising price of goods and services. Amongst the various factors contributing to this issue, fuel prices increase are often identified as a major cause. Fuel prices is directly connected to transportation and logistics. When fuel becomes more expensive, business must spend more money transporting products from suppliers to retailers. These additional costs are usually transferred to consumers through a higher product prices. The opinions shared by members of the public highlight a common concern. Rising fuel prices creates a chain effect throughout the economy. This chain effect eventually contributes to the inflation and increase the financial burden on households. Now, let's examine how rising fuel prices affects the everyday lives of Malaysians. The impact of rising fuel prices can be observed in many aspects of daily lives. While these impacts can be observed daily, lives wanted to hear directly from Malaysians about their expenses. For that reason, we conducted several interviews with members of the public. Our objective was to learn how rising fuel prices have affected their daily lives, spending habit and financial planning. The responses we received varied according to each person's situations. However, one common theme emerged from amongst the interview. Most participants agreed that rising costs of fuel have increased their monthly expenses and created additional financial pressure. Pada pendapat anda, adakah anda terkesan tentang kenaikan harga minyak?
Ya, sangat terkesan apabila harga minyak naik. Kos pengangkutan harian saya meningkat. Selain itu, harga barang keperluan di kedai juga ikut naik kerana kos logistik penjual turut terjejas. Jadi bajet bulanan saya jadi lebih ketat lah.
Okay. Apakah pendapat anda tentang apakah kerajaan patut lakukan untuk menangani masalah ini?
Pada pendapat saya, subsidi bersasar. Contohnya memberi bantuan tunai terus kepada mereka yang layak seperti B40 dan M40.
Adakah anda terkesan tentang kenaikan harga minyak petrol?
Terkesanlah juga sebab saya sebagai seorang yang bekerja dekat Cinema, saya perlu travel guna kereta setiap hari dari rumah ke Cinema, ataupun kalau perlukan mengambil barang pun guna minyak juga.
Okey. Dan juga pada pendapat anda, apakah langkah-langkah yang patut kerajaan buat untuk menangani masalah kenaikan harga petrol ini?
Sekarang kan budi kita tinggal 150.
Setuju.
Mungkin kerajaan boleh kembalikan 200 liter sebab untuk kat kucing ni mungkin 200 liter tu cukup.
Okey, terima kasih.
Sama-sama.
Good morning, Mr. Zaino. Thank you for lending your time for us to interview you today. So our first question is, have rising fuel price affected your daily life?
Ya, sedikit sebanyak kenaikan harga minyak menjejaskan kehidupan saya. Saya rasa bukan sahaja saya tapi rakyat Malaysia secara keseluruhan. Bagi contoh ya, untuk maklumat mana cakap maklum, saya merupakan suami status PJJ, pasangan jarak jauh, dengan isteri yang berada di Semenanjung, yang mana sebelum ni harga tiket penerbangan saya boleh dapat dengan harga RM99 hingga ke RM200, tapi dengan peningkatan harga kos ini telah meningkatkan harga tiket yang mencecah hingga RM600 untuk perjalanan sahaja. Jadi memang betul kenaikan harga minyak ini telah menjejaskan kehidupan saya secara keseluruhan.
Okay, Tuan. For our second question is, have you noticed any increase in price of goods and service due to rising fuel price?
Seperti mana saya maklum tadi lah, saya percaya dengan kenaikan harga minyak ini sedikit sebanyak telah meningkatkan harga barangan dan harga perkhidmatan. Peniaga rasanya dia terpaksa menaikkan harga untuk menampung operasi. Kalau kita pergi kat kedai sekarang ni, kebanyakan harga barangan basah ataupun barang kering telah meningkat. Contoh, kalau saya ikut isteri saya pergi ke pasar, harga ayam kita dapat dalam RM8 hingga RM8.50 hingga RM9. Tapi dengan peningkatan harga ini telah melonjakkan harga hingga RM11. Begitu juga dengan perkhidmatan. Dulu kalau ikutkan charge untuk penghantaran anak ke sekolah, saya bayar sebulan lebih kurang 100, tetapi dengan peningkatan harga kos ini telah meningkatkan harga hingga ke RM150 sebulan.
Okay, Encik Zaino, what is the biggest challenge you face because of the increasing cost of living?
Okay, antara cabaran terhebat adalah untuk menguruskan perbelanjaan bagi memenuhi segala keperluan tanpa menjadikan simpanan lah. Kalau dulu saya akan memastikan 20% daripada gaji saya peruntukkan untuk simpanan, tapi dengan peningkatan harga kos ini saya rasa susah untuk kita untuk menganggarkan 20% untuk dapat disimpan setiap bulan. Memang itulah satu cabaran yang terbesar pada mata saya lah untuk ketika ini.
Okay, alright Tuan. We have just one more question for you. How do you usually manage your expenses when price increase?
Dengan peningkatan harga kos barangan sekarang ini, kami sekeluarga lebih mengutamakan untuk pembelian barang-barang yang mendesak. Sebab itu kita juga berdisiplin untuk belanja lah. Untuk makluman, dulu saya sekeluarga sering bercuti. Pada setiap bulan kita akan peruntukkan sedikit kewangan untuk bercuti, bukan luar negara tapi dalam negara dan negeri-negeri berdekatan. Tapi bila berlakunya kenaikan kos ni, kita telah mengurangkan. Sebab itu kita juga lebih mengamalkan untuk pembelian barang-barang mustahak dan juga barang keperluan berbanding dengan kehendak lah. Sampai itu juga kita lebih kepada kita makan di rumah daripada kita makan di luar. Itu akan mengurangkan kos perbelanjaan sebulanan.
Okay, thank you for this interview. Thank you once again to Encik Zaino.
From this interview, we can clearly see that the rising fuel prices are not merely an economic statistic. They represent real challenges experienced by ordinary Malaysians in their everyday lives. The opinions gathered from our interview provide a valuable insight. However, it is also important to examine research findings and statistical evidence. Research conducted by economists and government agencies suggests that fuel prices have a significant influence on inflation. Inflation occurs when the general price level of goods and services increase over time, reducing consumers' purchasing power. When transportation and production costs increase due to higher fuel prices, businesses often raise their prices to maintain profitability. As a result, consumers end up paying more for everyday products and services. Studies also indicate that rising living costs can affect consumer spending patterns. People may choose to reduce spending on non-essential items in order to cope with increasing expenses. Furthermore, prolonged increase in fuel prices may affect economical growth by reducing household spending and business activity. This demonstrates the importance of managing fuel-related issues carefully to ensure economic stability. Although the research highlights significant challenges, there are several solutions that can help reduce the negative impact on Malaysians.
One possible solution is to strengthen financial education among the publics by learning how to budget wisely, manage expenses, and prioritize essential spending. Individuals and families can better prepare themselves to face rising living costs.
Another important step is reviewing salary structure and minimum wages policy. As living expenses continue to increase, wages should also remain relevant so that workers can maintain a decent standard living and support their family.
Digital era, remote and flexible working arrangements can also help reduce daily expenses. By working from home or adopting hybrid schedules, employees may spend less on fuels, transportations, and other commuting costs.
Prices and living costs continue to rise. Many Malaysians are forced to change their lifestyle and spending habits. This issue affects the daily lives of millions of Malaysians. From the transportation to basic necessities, the impact can be felt by almost everyone. Through awareness, proper planning, and effective solution, we can work together to overcome these economic challenges.
Conclusion, rising fuel prices have significantly contributed to the cost of living crisis in Malaysia by affecting household, businesses, and daily lives. So, higher awareness about this issue, collective effort, and practical solutions are needed to reduce this burden and build a more stable future for all Malaysian citizens.
Thank you for watching.